global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Global Happiness. Today, we have two updates to give to you. Quite an interesting one, where President Muhammad Buhari, had to tell the UK Prime Minister the state of affairs with Nnamdi Kanu and what he expects them to do. And of course, the fate of Gloria Okolie. There seems to be good news coming for that young lady. Give you a quick recap on how it all began with her, then roll into the news. But let's start with what is going on between the Nigerian president and the UK PM. Well, according to the news, President Muhammadu Buhari on Thursday held a bilateral meeting with the Prime Minister of Britain, that's Great Britain, that's Boris Johnson, and touched on the issue of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, among other issues. Kanu is in the custody of the Department of State Services and is facing charges of treasonable felony at San Abuja Federal High Court. He was extradited from overseas to face trial in Nigeria. His next date in court is actually on the 28th of July. Buhari on the sidelines of the 26th Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, that's CHOGM, in Rwanda, denied not allowing the IPB leader to see his lawyers privately. Buhari's aide Femi Adesina stated in a statement that the president dispelled such insinuations, saying the detained separatist was being given every opportunity under the law to justify the uncomplimentary things he had been saying against Nigeria in Britain. President Buhari told Johnson that he, Kanu, felt very safe in Britain and said awful things against Nigeria. We eventually got him when he stepped out of the United Kingdom, and we sent him to court. Let him defend all that he has said there. His lawyers have access to him. Remember, he jumped bail before. How are we so sure he wouldn't do it again if he's admitted to bail? Buhari also assured the United Kingdom counterpart that he will not seek for a third term in office. Another term for me? No. The first person who tried it didn't end very well, he said. The statement partly reads, and I quote, "On the keenness expressed by the Prime Minister to help Nigeria in the area of security," the president said, helping to stabilize Libya could be an initial good step, as the fall of Gaddafi after 42 years in power unleashed his armed guards on countries in Sahel, and they are causing havoc everywhere, as the only thing they know how to do is just to shoot guns. On Boko Haram insurgency, President Buhari said there was serious effort to educate the people on the fact that they are the only unserious person could kill an innocent person and say God is great, God is justice. You can't take innocent souls and ascribe it to God, and the education process is working. The people now understand that Boko Haram as anti-God and not about religion. The PM Johnson was said to be glad about trade deals between the two countries. In another news, relative news as well, Gloria Okolie was given 60 million in naira in punitive and general damages by the Abuja Federal High Court against the Nigerian police. On Thursday, June 23rd, 2022, a decision will be made in the Okolie filed basic rights enforcement case, which has the backing of more than 51 civil society organizations. In her lawsuit, Okolie requested that the Federal High Court, FCT, order the Attorney General of the Federation and the Nigerian Police Force, the respondent, to pay her 100 billion naira in general and punitive damages, respectively, for violating her rights. The court, presided over by Justice Y. Haliyu, on Thursday, June 23rd, granted every relief sought in Okolie's case. Haliyu, in granting the originating motion and reliefs filed by Okolie, awarded a total sum of 60 million naira in punitive and general damages caused to her by the police. Well, for some of us who do not remember, you could recall it that uh, Nigerians woke up to reassure that Okolie was missing, and the next thing we heard was Okolie was in Abuja, and the next thing we heard that she has been in detention, and they said she was a spy girl that was actually giving out information on IPOB ESN. And by the time Okolie would be released after so much outcry by a lot of Nigerians on social media, she later came back and gave her own version of the story, which was quite pathetic, where she said she was harassed, and but that she just gave God the glory that she wasn't pregnant. If she was, because she was detained for a while, Nigerians were wondering what's going on, but somehow she was able to prove or tell a lot of Nigerians that she was picked up and she has nothing to do with IPOB, she has nothing to do with ESN, and she was definitely not a spy girl for any organization, definitely not even for IPOB. And they picked her up from her from southeast, and before she would say Jack Robinson, she found herself moving from one place to the other. Then she found herself in Abuja, and that was how the case began. But of course, later on, when she came out, when she was granted bail, she came out and she made a lot of interview, which cost a lot of civil societies. Now there's about 51 of them came together and they wanted justice for her, because she has gone through a lot, judging the fact that an allegation was placed on her, and now we've gotten the verdict. Though they were actually the father suit against the government, against police and all that, where they wanted damages, everything paid in the sum of in naira, really, that they wanted about a billion, 100 billion naira. That was quite huge. But eventually, the judge granted Gloria Okolie 60 million naira. But with due respect, over time, those who have been granted bail, granted money, benefits, have always been finding it difficult to really get them. And I can still remember the issue of a member of, I think, a member of Biafran agitator who was also granted some sort of court benefit, some funds as well. I think he is yet to receive. It. Don't also forget that even Nnamdi Kanu, I think, got awarded with a billion naira. Yes, a billion naira is somewhere in Federal High Court in Abia. Of course, as we still speak, the government of the day have not perfected the payment yet. So that's to tell you that it's one thing to get court hearing to that effect, and another thing for there to be effective implementation of that court hearing. Well, I want to say congratulations to Gloria Okolie, and she should stay out of trouble as much as she can. Then, of course, I also want to talk about Nnamdi Kanu. With what is going on, obviously, from all indication, international organizations are watching. Let's see how it fares out eventually, because President has spoken concerning Nnamdi Kanu and tried to debunk whatever it is that has been trending on social media. Last we're going to wrap it up. Let's meet in the conversation.